Kia ora koutou, welcome back to our podcast, blogcast. And it's about the end of September. So
soon be Christmas.
Soon be Christmas, which is great for some of us and not so much for others. But we've had yet another busy week. I think things will calm down slightly next week. But let's tell you about what we've been up to this week. So on Monday, we hosted Olivia Moore, the author of That Green Olive, and that's also her website. And she has produced a wonderful cookbook with Penguin Books called That Green Olive. And she spoke to our cookbook club and she brought a carrot cake that she'd made that morning. And it was gluten-free and it was light and fluffy and delicious. And the special thing about Olivia's carrot cake is that she's got a marmalade and bourbon flavour to it. I think she puts bourbon in the icing and it was rather delicious.
It was good.
He was even tempted to come down from his hidey holes and join in the cookbook club. So that was brilliant. And Olivia's from Topor and she's also got recipes in that book that use trout. And you can, of course, what do you call it where you swap one thing for another? Substitute another whitefish for trout. But I thought that was quite interesting because you can only eat the trout if you catch the trout or somebody's caught it for you. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, that's a true thing because we just used to buy it in the UK, but you can't here. So anyway, that was Cookbook Club. That was great.
Yes, and a fascinating trout story. On our honeymoon in Florence, we went to this quite upmarket restaurant.
Ristorante.
And I just remember it because I had trout stuffed with prawns. So I remember what I ate, but probably I remember what I ate because there was quite a posh waiter.
Very formal waiter.
Very formal.
Yeah.
Who did a massive great fart halfway through our meal.
We were the only peoples in there, weren't we? And it was more or less like on the side of the Arno. And we're sitting there having our delicious meal and it's all very this. And then there is just, the waiters just stood there all like, it was great. Yeah. Stevie's saying hi.
Stevie's saying hi.
Shows his moment well, didn't he?
Yeah. Right, and then we did on Wednesday, we were at a school book week.
Napier Central School Fair. All week, yeah.
All week, and then Wednesday night was the sort of the big night. Adele Broadbent, author, and who also works for us, was doing a chat there. And then, who was the...
Emma Twigg was there.
Yes, and she, unfortunately not while we were there, but the kids were telling us that they got to hold her medals and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like, wow.
gold Olympic medals.
How often do you get to hold someone's Olympic medals? So that was really cool.
So thanks, Emma. We sold a lot of the book about you.
We sold a lot of her book, and yes, do look it up.
Yeah,
because she's a star.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
A true New Zealand hero.
Yeah. So we do that book fair, and we record all the books that are bought there, and then we give the school a percentage of what everyone's spent, so that works out really well for everybody, doesn't it? And it's great to just sort of meet the kids and see what they choose, not necessarily what the parents choose. They're quite different things.
Yeah, have a chat about what the kids are reading. Yeah. It's good fun.
Yeah. So that's cool.
And then on Thursday it was our Bookshop Sci-Fi and Fantasy Book Club, which was great, and we've been reading The Crossing by Justin Cronin, and it was generally well received. I enjoyed it. There was at one point, it's hard to say too much without ruining it all because it's full of twists, but sort of at one point, maybe 3/4 of the way through, I was thinking, I'm not sure, but then it totally redeemed itself in the end. So yeah,
so it's worth
it was a good read.
The effort and the time.
Yes, definitely.
Is that vampires, isn't it?
No, that's a different one. That's The Passage.
Oh, okay. Also by Justin Cronin.
Yes, spoiler alert.
Oh, is it?
No, I don't think so. I think it's on the back cover, so I don't think it's too much of a spoiler.
All right, then. Yeah.
Yes, so that was Sci-Fi Fantasy Book Club, which was great. We had some great discussions about what other people are reading, so yeah.
Any trends? Anything?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think what people... one guy was just reading Wool and very much enjoying that.
Hugo Howie.
Yes. Or Hugh Howie, as is often known.
Okay. That's the other fella. Yeah. And while you were doing that, while you and Stevie were at Fantasy Sci-Fi Book Club, I was at the library in Hastings and I was selling books for Avril Bell, who's just got her book out with Auckland University Press, Becoming Tangata Tiriti. So that was a fascinating talk. But she's a sociology lecturer, I think. So, and you can really tell that she's just interviewed lots of people about what it means to be a New Zealander from all walks of life. And there are 12 people in her book who talk about how to be a good treaty partner and being tangata tiriti, which is which is very different from just being Pakeha. Yeah, so have a look at that on our website because that's a fascinating read too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on Friday, another school event. So Havelock North Intermediate, one of their classes was having a literary lunch. So they'd all read different books, and then they'd all made food from related to the different books. And I got invited along, so that was great. And I talked about my books and being an author, and they asked some questions, and then we got to eat food, which was great. And
there was cupcakes with cockroaches on.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was from the Piers Tour Day.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what the book was called now.
The Last Wild?
The Last Wild, yeah.
That's a beautiful book.
Because apparently there's a general in there who's a cockroach or something, so that's why they did it. So yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was enjoyable. And you did, while I was doing that, you were doing a review on RT.
Oh yeah. So I had to zip over somewhere else and clean up the Napier Central Book Fair, and then zip down to the Napier shop where I zoomed into RNZ and I talked about Nicky Pellegrino's Marry Me in Italy. And although we didn't get married in Italy, we did, as previously mentioned, go on honeymoon to Florence.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So it's a fabulous book, and I was talking to Susanna on 9 to Noon, and she was saying, tell me more about the food, because I was giving food descriptions of steak flank in some gorgonzola pesto with roasted hazelnuts, and just like beautiful food descriptions in there. But cracking story, very well told, of women finding their purpose really, and giving themselves a bit of a free pass with things, because women beat themselves up a bit about stuff quite a lot of the time. Yes, we work very hard.
Oh, yes, I know.
Yes,
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, cracking book there from Nicky Pellegrino.
And then in all our spare time, we would get the second half of our second novel ready. So we've sent that off on Friday, and we wait for our feedback on that.
Yeah, which will hopefully take a little while. So
we can have a break.
So when we talk to you next week, we'll have been like, actually, not much has occurred this week, but we'll be able to tell you what we've been reading.
I think there will be, because we've got 2 book clubs next week.
True.
All sorts of other stuff, probably.
Yeah.
I would just remind you, please subscribe if you're enjoying the channel, and ring the bell. I don't know what ringing the bell means, but everyone says it on their YouTube video, so I'm going to say ring the bell.
Please enlighten us. Thank you. Yeah.
And I think that's us for today. So
that'll be us for today.
Mā te wā.
Mā te wā.